Hello, and welcome to Hope for Felons podcast, where we discuss felons and everything in between. Your host for this show is Douglas Van Vliet. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Hope for Felons podcast. It's good to be back on the show with you today as we discuss felons and everything in between. We have been working hard, especially the last few days. We have been getting a ton of phone calls, and I'm glad. There's always something going on. But this podcast, I want to focus a little bit about not only the coronavirus in prison, but also we want to talk a little bit about these issues, and they're actually on lockdown. All the federal prisons are on lockdown right now as we speak. And it's really sad. I was speaking to an individual that is in the Butner complex, and my understanding is all of the facilities there in Butner was on lockdown because of the coronavirus, except for the Low. And a lot of the people at the Low have been getting very upset. They just said, they didn't understand why they never locked down the Low. Because, a lot of people, when you're looking at a unit that is open, you're looking at a whole big complete open unit, and I will actually share a photo with how them units look so that way you can see it. It should be right underneath me now. You should be able to see the photo in which how they live. And if you see that, you see that all the open cubes, and there is no social distancing because you got somebody right next to you and either on top of you or beneath you. So how can you live like that? There's just no way that with coronavirus it's going to work. And then on top of that, you can't legally separate somebody that has had the vaccine and that hasn't had the vaccine. It boils down really to we all have a choice if we want to take the vaccine or not. You don't have to take the vaccine if you don't want to, because nobody's pressuring you to take the vaccine. But I think that is basically where the cookie lies. I've had all my vaccinations. And I think for me, because my immune system is low, I needed to take it. So, everybody has their own opinion and their own objective. Now, to be honest with you, at first, I was scared to take it. I'm not going to lie to you. I was scared to take it because I didn't know. And I told my doctor, I said, I would rather wait a little while to see what the long-term effect is going to be. And he's like, well, how long are you going to wait? And I said, Doc, you really have a good point there, because I don't know. And at that time, I realized that I should go ahead and get my vaccination. But I just want to say that if we're living in a country to where you have a choice, then I think that everybody should have a choice if they want to take it or they don't. But that's just my own personal opinion, and we all should be entitled to our personal opinion. So let's get back to that. The coronavirus in prison has just went wild, and I believe that they knew that it was going to, They did say that, I think in Lexington, they said that they have been very, very good. It's not been that bad. I mean, sometimes it does reach that point, but then they're able to keep it under control, which is a good thing, because like I said, most open cubicles and open dorms are the world's worst for the virus. And I mean, it is. I mean, what are you gonna do? You know, it's one of those things that, like I told my mom, I said, you know, if anybody wanted to try to get out of prison, that would be now, especially if you're older, you have medical issues, you don't need to be in there, because the likeliness of you making it could be very, very slim. But I just wanted to share a little bit about the coronavirus and basically what they are doing to stop it, or slow the spread, I should say, slow the spread of the virus. Now, if you do look at the situation now, the federal prisons, I know, they actually have been making masks for the inmates through Unicor, but they're a very thin mask. I have not seen them, but I'm just going off of word of mouth that they there's nothing much to them, and you know, they have to keep them washed and everything else. You know, in a prison setting, what's a mask going to do when you can't social distance? I mean, because if they're right in front of you and you can't sleep with your mask on, because you'd probably suffocate and die. So I think there needs to be a look at this. You know, I know you can't let everybody go, but all low-level offenders, you should kick them out of there. I mean, I just don't understand it. It really aggravates me more than anything. And then when I'm taking juvenile justice and policing this semester, I realized that, you know, not every crime really should be sent to prison. As simple as that. That they should have an option for rehabilitation. But you know what? Do they really have options for rehabilitation, folks? They don't give it to you. I mean, they still send you to prison and make you serve way more time than really that you need to get back on track. But I have to say one thing. It all boils down to the person's mindset. If they have a mindset when they get out to change, then you know what? You ain't gonna have no problems, and you're gonna make it fine in the community, and then just keep living your life, and you're gonna be a productive citizen. It's just simple as that. And I want to say we are going to be having a guest on the show very soon. I'm trying to work things out. And then, as everybody knows, we've had Dr. Linda McCrae on here as well. And as soon as I get finished up with classes for this semester, then we will definitely be getting these people on here. Takes a lot of work. I get a lot of phone calls for Hope for Felons, and I think right now we are close to the only ministry in North Carolina that's still running that has online resources that I know of. Now, I could be wrong, but I get a lot of phone calls every day. I get emails, people wanting help. And I just want to say, you know, we need to start looking at all these situations around us, and especially this virus in prison. In the prison, I don't feel like it's doing enough. I really don't. But we're going to be talking about some other stuff. Possibly next week, we're going to be back on here. And I would like to do a recap on relationships. I believe that's what we will do next week. I think relationship is a big topic, and we all have to talk about it because we're all going to go through it, especially if you're in prison, being released from prison. How are you going to handle your relationship when you get out? Until next time, this is Doug with CEO and President of Hope for Felons, and we just want to say have a great day and stay safe.